Blessings, friends. Let's get into some ethical hacking. Welcome to a penetration testing walkthrough of the Silverplatter environment made by Tyler Ramsby, found on the TryHackMe website. This is a free room for you to hack. This walkthrough is part of my professional portfolio demonstrating ethical hacking methodologies. In this video, we'll explore information gathering on Silverplatter. We will enumerate paths, actually 2 paths, using things like Rustscan and finding directories using GitHub information gathering. And then we'll cover 2 attack paths. The first attack path is thanks to a CVE that gives us a complete authentication bypass. And then the second attack path is using a cool tool named Cool that will generate us a word list aimed directly at the website that we will be attacking. And we'll use burp in order to spray the word list at the site. Finally, we will have 2 post-exploitation paths that will both lead to root access. The first path uses manual privilege escalation. Why all that extra work for manual privilege escalation? Well, it's for stealthy findings, often needed in an enterprise environment. And the second post-exploitation path uses a tool called LinPeas. That's right, LinPeas. In the LinPeas path, we will showcase tools like SSH, sudo, and wget for secure, methodical escalation. So, let's get started. When you start up your Silverplatter room, all you get here is the IP address. And the other thing that we have here in my notes that I can't remember how we enumerated it is a username. You'll see that when we get to it. Speaking of notes, let's jump into my notes. If I've learned anything from Tyler Ramsby, it's to stay organized and to keep excellent notes when you're hacking. That is essential. So here are my notes. I use Notion notes. And we will not be keeping notes here, but instead what we'll be doing is we'll be going through the notes that I've written up for this walkthrough. Initial access credentials. There is our initial access credentials. When using TryHackMe, you want to jump onto their open VPN so you can access the instances that have been spun up. Right now we are accessing the VPN for the TryHackMe website. First thing you want to do is make sure that you're in the folder where the document exists. Then you want to use your sudo command, open VPN, and then the name of the document. Like we said, we want to keep organized notes and we want to be organized while we are hacking. If you are an employer, check it out. I'm very organized and I keep organized notes. If you are a learner, trust me, keep organized notes. That's why we've just titled this tab with the OpenVPN in it, with TryHackMe's OpenVPN, and now we've started a new tab and we've renamed it Terminal. We're even color coding it just so that we have a little bit of fun. Let's make the screen a little bit bigger so that you guys can see better. Now let's get into the folder specifically for this room. Alright, now the next thing that we want to do is we want to resolve the IP address host pair. This is basically the same thing that the DNS system does online, where it takes an IP address and connects it to a website name. But instead we're doing it locally on our machine. We're taking the IP address that was given at the beginning, and in the hosts file, which can be found in the etc directory, we are resolving the IP address to a host name that we can remember, so that we don't have to remember the IP address. In order to do that, we have to get into the right directory. Here you see that it's already been done, but we have got localhosts, Kali, and Silverplatter's the name, and THM is the name of the room. THM is for TryHackMe. So now, instead of having to remember the IP address, we just remember silverplatter.thm. Now we get back into the room folder here on our local machine. And the next step is to do a Rustscan. We're not going to do a complete Rustscan here, but you do Rustscan, and then -A scans all targets, and then you put in the target, silverplatter.thm. Then the -- tells Rustscan to send the results into Nmap. And then the -A tells Nmap to include all enumeration scripts. Now, I've already done this previously, so we're not going to let Rustscan go all the way through. It would take some time. Instead, we're going to move on to my notes. Here are my notes of the Rustscan that was done previously, and we see that we have port 22, port 80, and port 8080 open with some information about those ports. After some enumeration, we found that the attack path is port 8080. So specifically, we want to find the directory Silverpeas, and in order to find that, we do some information gathering on GitHub, Silverpeas GitHub, to find the Silverpeas directory, which is this here login screen. That login screen is where we are going to start our attack. At this point, we start moving from enumeration into attack. While Burp Suite is opening, I want to mention that this is the community edition of Burp Suite. It's very powerful. Also, this particular virtual machine that I'm using is free, Oracle VirtualBox, and the Kali Linux version that I have on this I also got for free. Furthermore, this TryHackMe room that Tyler Ramsby created, Silverplatter, it's also free. Everything that you're learning here today is free. It's right at your fingertips. It doesn't matter how long you've been in your previous career, if you're right out of high school, anybody with the will to learn can be an ethical hacker. Burp Suite is open. We're going to open up a proxy web browser. So open browser button under the proxy tab. Once it loads, brings us to a browser opened by Burp Suite, and now we HTTP silverplatter.thm. The port is 8080. We know the directory is Silverpeas. This should bring us to our authentication page. So here we are, and we're going to first use the cool tool. That's right, we're going to use the cool tool in order to create a word list, and then we're going to spray that word list at this password. Right now we just tried hotwings123 as a password. We turn the interceptor on, and that gives us our post. Sorry that the screen is cut off halfway down. I should be fixing that here in a second. There we go. Hotwings123 is the password that we tried. So now we are going to send that to the intruder, not the repeater, but the intruder. There we go. Go to intruder, and here we can spray all kinds of different passwords at this target. So first thing you want to do is highlight the password itself, click add, You can see the squiggly doodads come up on either side of the password. And now we're going to use the cool tool, CEWL, HTTP. Here's our target, / silverplatter.thm, sideways caret, east facing caret, and we want to give it now a file name, custom passwords 4.txt. And what this does is it crawls the entire host website for every word that's on the website and creates a word list out of those words. So now that we have that, now we've got our password highlighted. A simple list. We load the custom passwords for list, and now we can start our attack. And now we're looking for anything different or weird. In this case, usually length is the same thing all the way through for whatever reason that I'm not sure in this instance. It changed, the length changed after this weird word spicing. We're really also looking for a different status code. I don't know why the status code doesn't change here. But in most cases, the length or the status code will change when we find the password here. We find the password is this odd word, spicing, whatever that word is. Again, I'm sorry that the screen has been cut off down below, but what I'm doing right now is I'm going into the particular post where this spicing was sent, and I'm copying that word to my clipboard because it's odd enough to where I don't know that I'll be able to spell it right off the bat. And now we go back to our browser and we copy in. We copy in spicing. We can also stop the attack as we believe we found the password. Turn interception off. Copy the password into the password field. And log in. And look at that, boys and girls. We have ourselves access. A word on the website was used. A word on the website was used as the password. That is not a secure way of making passwords. Now let's try the same thing again using a CVE. And now we are starting our second attack path. The first attack path was using the cool tool and then spraying the word list at the target. Now we're going to use a CVE. This CVE, you know, we don't even need a password because of this Silverplatter CVE. Instead, we just capture the post for when we try to sign in, delete the password field completely, and then forward that altered post, and we're in. Okay. Come on now. There you go. Forward, all the way through. Okay, Hot Wings 123, baby. Log in with interceptor on. There's our post again, cut off screen. I should be moving this here momentarily so that you can see what's going on. Come on now, Tom. Okay, I did not move it, but all I did there was delete. All I did there was delete the password field. And you see all these GET requests? This is a good sign. This means that we're in. You forward through all those GET requests, and then we should be in.